Alexander. Shabbat for three. Bingo!
Carter will get it for the win. Got it! He is hard to believe.
Here's Jordan.
Yes! The Magic, a 360 turn with the dribble. Magic down the middle. Gives underneath to Worthy. Slammed up.
Third in the corner. Double fake.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dime Dropper for our 2022 playoff post-game recaps conference finals. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dropper Podcast, Apple Podcast, follow us on Spotify, and of course, to follow us on all social media platforms at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Dime Dropper Pod. For tonight's episode, I did not go live last night, so I will be talking both games, the Warriors Mavs game 1 and then the Heat Celtics game 2. We're going to start it out with the Mavs and the Warriors. So my prediction was Warriors in 7, and I was just interested to see how the Warriors defended Luka, because it's always going to be a dilemma. You're always going to have to give something up in some way, shape, or form when guarding him in pick and roll. And then I was interested to see how aggressive Steph Curry would be, and if the Warrior offense would look any different in terms of taking care of the ball and, limiting their turnovers. And in the first quarter, what really stood out, especially as the quarter closed, was the Warriors' defense. They were incredible all night long from quarter number 1. 28-18 was the first quarter score after one in favor of Golden State. And a large reason for that was the defense of Andrew Wiggins. We've talked about it all season long. You can't say enough about guys that are going to go out there and do a good job on the best player on the opposing team. And the Warriors' strategy was to switch Draymond, Clay, and Wiggins onto Luka, but Looney would be in drop coverage, sometimes late switches, though. He switched out of Luka a lot, and Kevon Looney, I thought, alongside Andrew Wiggins. Similar to, I remember exactly what game it was. I think it may have been game 6 against the Grizzlies. Were just phenomenal. Or maybe it was game 4. It was one of those two. But Andrew Wiggins and Kevon Looney, again, were really solid in their roles. Kevon Looney was very good defensively, well-timed help. He was strong. He had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 10 points. Anytime you can get Kevon Looney in double figures, that's huge for the Warriors, just an added bonus. But I thought their defense was really good, and they were leading that charge alongside Draymond, who's always going to be good on defense in terms of communication, rotations, everything. And the Warriors were clamping up. So where were you? The question is, who's Luka going to put in pick and roll or in pick and pop? The guards, Steph Curry, Jordan Poole's of the world. And I thought that Steph and Jordan Poole did a pretty decent job of showing and recovering. They weren't going to let them get on an island with Luka like the Suns did with Chris Paul. They showed and recovered. The only problem with that is sometimes you can give up open threes, and those threes just weren't falling for the Mavs. They still got a lot of looks they usually make, and they just did not make them. Dorian Finney-Smith, 1 for 3 from 3. Reggie Bullock got 10 attempts, made only 3 of them. 0 for 5 for Jalen Brunson from deep. Other than that, he was 6 for 11. So he was good inside the arc, but from 3, he wasn't hitting. And then Luka shot a lot of threes. I've noticed one thing about Luka, too. He doesn't seem very comfortable shooting catch and shoot threes. He shot 2 of them in the first half last night. Both of them missed. And I don't know, maybe he's just not used to it. That's something he should get better at, because I actually like when he's off the ball. It diversifies the offense. And he was 3 for 10 from deep. A lot of shots that he usually makes. But what I was really impressed by was in situations that the Warriors were showing and recovering, there were times where Curry would show, but he would leave a little early before Wiggins had fully gotten back in front of Luka. And Luka would try to go downhill. And Wiggins did such a great job of being in his rear view and making Luka afraid to go up with a shot. A couple of times he passed last second when he probably should have gone up and gone up with it. But Andrew Wiggins, his length is so bothersome, and he just has been hustling on defense all season long. That's the reason why he made the All-Star team alongside the Korean pop star guy, Warriors fan with a huge following, pushing the agenda. But Andrew Wiggins, you got to love defense first kind of players. And that's not what he came into the league as. That's not at all. But it's what he has evolved into. And you got to like the role if you're a Warriors fan for him. But the Mavs just couldn't really get anything going offensively all night. They were sticking around in the second quarter. The only reason why they were only down 9 points after the first half was because Steph Curry and Klay Thompson hadn't gotten going. Curry was shooting a lot of threes that he usually makes, just wasn't making them. But Jordan Poole And everyone else, I talked about Wiggins and Looney, but Jordan Poole came in and was looking like the Jordan Poole we saw more so against Denver as opposed to against Memphis. He was getting to the basket, had some really nice acrobatic finishes, right hand, reverse layups, Euro step, great footwork. And he was also able to knock down a couple three balls, or only one three ball. I'm sorry, 1 for 4. I knew it was only one. I don't know why I said that. I had to check the box score, but overall, I thought at halftime, if you're looking at it from a Warriors perspective, you would say defense is good. Luka hasn't really gotten going at all. He's slowed down as the half went on. Spencer Dinwiddie and Jalen Brunson are being kept in check decently. Nobody's going off too much. The other guys aren't making shots, but Steph Curry and Klay aren't going yet. So if Steph gets going, we'll probably blow them out. If you're a Mavs fan, you were thinking we're in striking distance. As long as Luka starts playing better and we start making our threes, we'll get back in the game. And Steph Curry was the guy that reminded us why he was Steph Curry, reminded us why the Warriors used to be third quarter Warriors was the term that we labeled them, because they would always turn up the gas in the third quarter and Steph Curry would lead that charge. And that was no different in game 1. Steph Curry in the third quarter started making a couple threes, moving without the ball beautifully for them. Draymond Green finding him. There was even one floater runner he showed when he was being hand checked, threw it up going to his left. It was spectacular. And you know how Steph Curry can change the momentum of games with his three-point shooting. He's been doing it for so long. He did exactly that. Warriors creating turnovers. Luka had 7 turnovers, 13 turnovers for the Mavs as a team, which isn't insane, but 7 of them coming from one player. You got to give credit to the defense. Luka's also got to be better. That was probably Luka's worst game that I can think of the playoffs thus far this year. You got to give credit to the Warriors, man. They did such a great job defensively. You saw Otto Porter come in for 23 minutes. He had 10 points on 5 of 7 shooting, was really solid as well. But the Warriors kind of rode the momentum home, and the Mavs couldn't get much going. The Mavs shot, and another thing with the Dallas Mavericks is they just kept shooting threes. I think you've got to pass up on some of those. And when the Warriors are switching a lot, you got to slip some of those screens if you're the Mavs players, not just wait to pick and pop or wait for Luka to isolate and kick it to you. Try to get something going off the ball. A lot of standing around, and that goes back to the lack of off-ball movement emphasized at youth levels that I always talk about, and why a lot of players just are statues off the ball, especially when you're playing an offense like the Mavs where you kind of just watch Luka do everything sometimes. But that was it. The Warriors were the better team, and I think a lot of people were getting carried away, though, with this game. As far as what you got to do better if you're the Mavs, you just got to make shots, and Luka's got to play better. It's really that simple. Got to be better on defense a little bit, staying in front of the ball. I thought Curry and Jordan Poole and their movement also, it's a different challenge guarding the Warriors offense. Because as I always say, the Warrior offense is different than any other team's offense. Their movement without the ball, they read and react. It's not the same as just heavy doses of ball screens, high pick and roll, high pick and pop actions like other teams. They play a very unique style, very different, predicated on their instinctive off-ball movement, and Steph Curry sets the tone for that. And with Klay Thompson, it becomes even more lethal, and other people start joining in on that party, as I talked about in the last round with guys like Jordan Poole. You see him, he's picked up on some of those tendencies. So the Warrior offense is very hard to guard. They force you to communicate a lot, and if you switch a lot, which is the counter to it, which the Mavs do, you got to stay in front of the ball, and they got to do a slightly better job of that in game 2, which I think they will. And I think that at game 2 is going to be a really good game. I truly do. I think it's going to be a battle, and I think Luka could easily come back with a big game and win it. So the Warriors got to be on their P's and Q's. But I thought it was a really encouraging first game for the Warriors, much better than a lot of the games they played in the Grizzlies series. Maybe their best game, probably their best game since game 3 of the Grizzlies series. Definitely, I'd say. But a lot of Warriors fans thinking Warriors in 5, Warriors in 6. I personally don't agree. I think that's getting carried away from game 1, and I'm going to stick with my guns until I'm proven otherwise. I'm going to go with Warriors in 7. I'm not going to doubt Luka's ability, even with this heliocentric offense, to get shit done and to get 3 games. I think more likely if I had to lean after game 1, I'd say Warriors in 6, but I got to stick with my pick. So I'm going to stick with Warriors in 7 because I don't waver. Let's read the stat lines, though, for that one before we move on to the Celtics game tonight. For the Mavericks, they shot 11 for 48 from 3. So, again, I'm just not a fan of teams shooting 40-plus threes when they're bricking left and right. I don't care how many of them are open. I think you got to diversify your shot profile sometimes. And, even if you're not comfortable in the mid-range area or shooting runners or something, switch it up if you're not hitting threes. Try to get to the basket. Try to put pressure on the officials. 14 for 21 from the foul line for Dallas. That's 66%. And Jalen Brunson shooting 2 for 4 and Luka Doncic 5 for 8. That's got to be better. Luka Doncic, overall just didn't have a very efficient night. The Mavs as a team didn't. They shot 36% as a team. Spencer Dinwiddie actually had a decent night. He had 17 points on 5 for 11 shooting, 3 for 7 from deep. But, I'd have to really look back and see how many of those points were in garbage time because, they lost by 25 points. So who cares about decent individual performances if there are any? As I said, Dorian Finney-Smith, 2 for 6 from the field, 1 for 3 from deep. And then Reggie Bullock, 4 for 12 from the field, 3 for 10 from deep, 12 points. Jalen Brunson, 6 for 16 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3, 14 points. Going to need better than that. And then Luka, 20 points only, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 7 turnovers, 6 for 18 shooting. That's only 33%. Only 30% from 3, 3 for 10, and 5 for 8 from the line. So not a great night for Luka. As for the Warriors, as I mentioned, Jordan Poole, 19 points, 8 for 12 shooting. That's 66%. 1 for 4 from 3. He was awesome. Otto Porter, 10 points, 5 of 7. Nobody else on the Warriors bench got more than 12 minutes. The starters all got 28 minutes or more. Kevon Looney, 5 for 5, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. He was fantastic. Andrew Wiggins, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, staying efficient as well again. 8 for 17, 3 for 8 from the field. He actually led the Dubs in shot attempts. Draymond Green, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Only 1 turnover and 4 for 6 from the field. So much better from Draymond. Klay Thompson, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Started to get going a little more in the second half. 7 for 13 in the end. And did not shot chuck. Did not force it. Only 1 for 4 from 3. So not that many 3-point attempts. And then Steph Curry, 21 points, 12 rebounds. Wow. 4 assists. 6 for 16 shooting, 3 for 9 from deep. So not the best shooting night for Curry, but he was 1 for 6. And then after that, he shot 6 for 10. So he hit it when it mattered. I mean, the early start, especially when your teammates are doing a good job and you're still moving without the ball and doing the right things on the defensive end, doesn't really matter in my eyes. As I said, I don't think a missed shot is a missed shot. I really don't. I think time and place matter a lot in basketball. But that's it for game one. Let's shift gears to the Celtics and the Miami Heat, which was a very different game than game one, to say the least. It started with the Celtics getting the good news today that Marcus Smart and Al Horford are back, and that is absolutely huge. And boy, did they make a difference tonight. You get your starting lineup intact. Rob Williams stayed in the starting lineup, though, and you saw the difference they made immediately. The Boston Celtics switching everything except for Rob Williams, who was going in drop coverage. But, outside of the 11, I think they were down 11-18 Boston. After that, it was done. Jaylen Brown, for once, I don't want to say for once, that's an exaggeration, but we've talked about in the lives, Mino the Great, who's supposed to be here tonight, but I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he just passed out. Jaylen Brown has kind of become a second half player in these playoffs. I don't know if that's been a thing all season, and I like second, it's better to be a second half than a first, but I think that he's good enough to be more effective in the first half as well. And tonight he really set a tone with 11 points in the first quarter. The first shot he hit was an open 3 on a beautiful Marcus Smart drive and kick against Jimmy Butler, in fact. And Jaylen had 11 points in the first, and 3 of them were threes, 2 of them contested. Jason Tatum was also hitting contested threes in the first half, and that was just kind of backbreaking for Miami because they were giving up open threes, and when they played good defense, the Celtics were hitting their contested threes. But I thought Marcus Smart really all game long, despite the fact that he started out for a large stretch of the game shooting the ball poorly, he was a true point guard tonight. He made all the right passes, whether in pick and roll, drive and kick, finding guys cutting, finding guys on the roll, lobbed it up to Rob Williams in the first quarter, I remember. He was just making all the right passes, and he had plenty of assists tonight as to show for it. 12 of them, 24 and 12 to go along with 9 rebounds. You already know what he's going to do defensively. He guarded Jimmy Butler, and even though Jimmy Butler still got his 29 points on 11 for 18 shooting, I thought they made it tougher for him. And I thought that they also kept him off the line a lot more. He shot 18 free throws in game one. He shot 8 today. So credit to the Celtic defense, credit to Marcus Smart. You know what Al Horford's going to do. He's going to be intelligent. He made every single shot he took tonight, 4 for 4, 2 for 2 from 3, 10 points, communicates, is able to switch on to multiple guys. Rob Williams, I thought he had really well-timed help, was active hands. He only played 20 minutes, but in those 20 minutes, he had 5 points, 4 boards, 3 blocks, and a steal. And it's tough when the Celtics start taking threes like that. They take a lot of threes to start games that I've talked about with O the Great in previous lives, and sometimes I don't like it because it can really take them out of rhythm to start games and put them into a bit of a hole. But when they're hitting, it's obviously just amazing because they that lets them set up their defense and takes teams out of transition and doesn't let teams develop any momentum. And the Miami Heat were not getting much offensively outside of Jimmy Butler tonight. Max Strus in the first half, he was throwing them up there, threes. He shot 2 for 7 for the game. All of them were threes, but wasn't the same as how he got going in the third quarter last game. I thought the Celtics just were great defensively overall, doing a good job staying in front of the ball and making the extra pass on offense. The Heat, when Dwayne Dedmon came in for Bam at the end of the first quarter, I thought this is when they started to kind of gain the lead that they would, sustain the entire game. They went up by 11 at the end of the first quarter, Boston, and it was 35-24 after the first quarter, but they were only up by like 3 points with like 2 or 3 minutes left, if I'm not mistaken. And they started hitting threes towards the end of the quarter. The Heat turned the ball over a little bit, and the Celtics were making a play from three. I remember when Dwayne Dedmon came in, they were blitzing on pick and rolls, and they got burned twice. So they weren't trusting him to try to switch and stay in front of the ball one-on-one. They weren't trusting him in drop coverage. They blitzed. Celtics were making the right passes. I remember Marcus Smart hit an open three, and then I think Peyton Pritchard hit an open three. And Peyton Pritchard had a good bounce-back game. We talked about him getting attacked in pick and roll, but I thought that he was really solid tonight, and he was attacking. He was making his open threes. He had this one nice shot on Tyler Hero one-on-one. He had 10 points off the bench and on 4 for 8 shooting, and it was plus 39, the highest of any player in the game. Grant Williams also came off the bench, and when he gets in the game with Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart, that everyone can switch on to basically everyone. It is tough against those guys. They're rugged, they're strong, they play physical, and I thought the Celtics just brought the physicality to this Heat all night long, the effort level, the energy. They played hungry like they had to win this game, and they blew them out of the water. 35-21 after in the second quarter, and they rode it home. The Heat made a baby push to cut it from like 23 to 17. Then the Celtics got it up to 30 in the third quarter. Jason Tatum contested three after contested three, pull up. Jaylen Brown continued to stay aggressive, and Marcus Smart just making all the right plays. It was just a great performance overall by Boston. Defense led to offense on various occasions. And for the Heat, where's your offense going to come from? Tyler Hero's a sixth man kind of player. He's not going to score 20 every single game. He had 11 points tonight on 5 for 11 shooting. Yeah, he's 0 for 3 from 3. You need a little bit more. But, I'm looking at, Gabe Vincent shot decently tonight. 14 points, 5 for 10 from the field. They were 44% from the field, Miami, but a big reason why they were only 28 or 29% from three. They actually got a 10 for 34 for the numbers. They actually got some decent looks, especially in that stretch where the Celtics went up like 16 in the second quarter from the end of the first to the middle of the second. They got a lot of good looks that they usually make. It just wasn't falling. And that's the thing. Like Victor Oladipo, for example, he got a lot of decent looks at threes, but he didn't make any of them, and he never got in a rhythm. He was 1 of 5 from 3 and 2 for 8 from the field. So when over 50% of your shots are threes and you're not making any of them really, easy to get out of rhythm. He still had 14 points because he got to the line 10 times. So that was good. But the Heat starters, Bam Adebayo, without Kyle Lowry, he's going to need to be way more aggressive than what he is. Before I get into the specifics with him, PJ Tucker, 5 points. I don't think he was great tonight. Jason Tatum was hitting threes in his face, even though he had a hand up. That's not his fault. But what I do think he needs to do a better job of is being more aggressive when he gets those wide open looks when Rob Williams is playing drop coverage and they make pocket passes to him and he's wide open at the foul line for those little push shots. He traveled one time because he didn't want to take it tonight. And a couple times in his in-between game, he doesn't trust it at all. And it's just so disgusting sometimes watching some of these players have no confidence in the in-between game. Al Horford in the second half was literally, I kid you not, wide open at the foul line, wide open. And just looking around to see what better shot he can get. And eventually after like 2 seconds, he shot it and made it. And I'm like, oh my God, man. But anyway, Celtics ran away with it. Bam Adebayo, 6 shot attempts, dude. 50%. I don't give a fuck about your efficiency. It's going back to that efficiency BS with KD and Chris Paul's of the world. More so Chris Paul than the KDs, but like, dude, and LeBron's. Come on, man. I've seen Bam make some tough shots. I've seen him hit a turnarounds over his right shoulder. I've seen him make some decent post moves from time to time. Is he going to develop ever as an offensive scoring threat in terms of like a go-to guy? Because he averages what, like 18 points a game? Are those all on pick and roll and offensive rebounds and like transition points? Because I think he has the talent. He has the body type to, have aspects of a Kevin Garnett or maybe even a C Webb in him. More so Kevin Garnett, because I can see him more of a finesse big man than a power big man, even though he is strong. But he seems like he actually has decent fundamentals at times. He just doesn't really go for it. Doesn't like to look to develop it. I feel like he hasn't gotten any better offensively in terms of scoring since really offensively since 2020, since the year that I was really advocating for him to win most improved. He still should have won over Brandon Ingram. I'll always go with that. I'll always stick by that. But he hasn't seemed to improve offensively to me. If you're a Heat fan and you think he has, mention in the comments what he's improved on, because I'm not seeing it. He's not aggressive enough in terms of scoring. Maybe he's improved playmaking a bit, but I remember him being a very solid playmaker and taking that huge leap in the 2020 season. And we saw that in the bubble in their finals run. But that's just not acceptable. And Kyle Lowry, where are you at, bro? Like, he's getting paid a lot. Like, he's the third star on this team, and they're not a better team without Kyle Lowry for sure. I don't think they're a better team with him, but they're not a better team without him. You saw the difference that Marcus Smart and Al Horford made tonight. And Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they didn't even really need to play in the fourth quarter. They were chilling. So let's read the lines. It was an easy game. The Celtics fans invaded, and you started to hear them saying, let's go Celtics. It was getting pretty ugly in there for the Heat fans. But 127-102, an absolute blowout Boston response. 25-point win for the 2 seed. We got the 1 and the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference this year. So as for the Celtics stat lines, 43s attempted, 20 made, 50% from 3. When they shoot 50% from 3, you're going to have a lot of trouble beating them. And that's the thing. It took the Heat out of transition. They were able to force a lot of turnovers in the third quarter of game 1, and that's what got them a lot of easy baskets. But Peyton Pritchard, 10 points, 4 for 8 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3. He was solid. Grant Williams, 19 points, 5 for 7 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, 7 of 8 from the line. He was plus 37. And then Jaylen Brown, 24 points, very solid night. Had a really nice, had some really nice step backs and jumpers. 24 points, 8 rebounds for him on 9 of 17 shooting and 4 for 7 from deep. So very efficient. Al Horford, 10 points, 4 of 4 from the field, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Rob Williams, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 for 3 from the field. Jason Tatum, 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. 8 for 13 shooting, 4 for 6 from deep, and 7 for 7 from the line. 3 turnovers, so not as bad at all. Only 9 turnovers for the Celtics tonight, so fantastic in that department. And then Marcus Smart, my player of the game, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 8 for 22 shooting, 5 for 12 from deep. The thing about Marcus Smart is that's crazy that he looked so good and he couldn't play 2 days ago. Like, that's just wild. But he was awesome. Let's go to the Miami Heat stat line now. They turned the ball over 15 times. And it's funny because they had more points in the paint, but it makes sense because the Celtics hit so many threes. Duncan Robinson actually played a little bit tonight, but I think he had 6 points. I think a couple of those were in garbage time, though. Victor Oladipo, as I said, 14 points, but 2 of 8 from the field, 1 of 5 from deep, and 9 of his points came from the foul line. Tyler Hero, 5 for 11, 0 for 3 from deep, 11 points. Caleb Martin, 7 points, 3 for 8 from the field. They left him wide open for a 3 at one point, and he just bricked it. Max Strus, as I said, 2 for 7 from the 3. Those were all the shots he took. Gabe Vincent, 14 points, 5 for 10 from the field, and 4 for 8 from 3. So he actually shot well. As I said with Bam, 6 shots, 3 made, 6 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, no blocks. That's just not going to do it. Jimmy Butler, 29.6 rebounds, 3 assists on 11 for 18 shooting. Only shot 3 threes, made 1, 6 for 8 from the foul line. And then PJ Tucker, 5 points on 2 for 6 shooting and made his only 3. Good job by the Boston Celtics to limit his 3-point attempts, and run him off the line. But that's it for me tonight, guys. I got nothing else. 1-1 in that series. It's going to be a good one. We've had 2 blowouts, though, 2 nights in a row. And then the Heat game was kind of a blowout. So Second round was really good. That's why I like the second round the best, but we'll see. We'll probably have a better game tomorrow for game 2 of Mavs and Warriors, although I don't think I'm going to be live tomorrow. Probably not. Don't count on it. I hope I'm not, to be honest. But we'll be back on Sunday at the latest. Have a good weekend, everybody. Peace out. Now we go to the live subscribers waiting oh so patiently in the chat. Peace out and have a good night. 25 minutes in the dot, huh? See what we doing, boys. Jacory, what's up, man? He said, finally you here. Remember, super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 a dime for your boy. Always taking donations. Bam looking overrated. Just awful, says Jacory Marshall. Daniel Clifford says, sup dime. June 28th, July says, got to be back. Good to be back, okay. Brent says, yo, what's up, Brent? My boy ZZ Visions, man, that's a Heat fan. He says, that boy Bam a cupcake. Give me a real number 2 this summer. I like how we're good at developing undrafted guys. There's a reason they're undrafted. Low ceiling. Yeah, right now it's looking like Jimmy Butler may be good enough to be number 1. May need a number 2. That's better than Bam scoring. What about Lowry? I feel like we can't say this because Lowry, bro. Like, I feel like we need to give Lowry a chance, right? Ty Baller says, I'm honestly disappointed with how many blowouts there's been in the last 2 rounds. Hey, man, the second round was great, don't you think? ZZ Vision said, I need a drink. I care about the Heat too much. Hey, man, how old are you? Ty Baller says, basketball's a game of runs. Seems like one team gets one good run off of the second quarter and ends the game early. Why do you say that? Brent says, Ty Baller, thank Adam Silver for that. Why is Adam Silver fault? I hate Adam Silver, the cupcake, but why is it his fault there's so many blowouts? Ty Baller says, Brent, I'm honestly still mad at him for his terrible management of the refs, to be honest. They claim to be clamping down on the kickouts on shots and excessive flailing on shots, but they folded. Yeah, league in a league. Showtime Nick says, I'm home this time, although I was asleep and game was already out of reach by the time I woke up. What's up, Showtime Nick? Kyle Stakes says, what's up, Dime? I know you like that Warriors performance, Kyle. Ty Baller says, Marcus Smart improving his playmaking has been an interesting turn of events. Never really saw him running the point like he is now a few years ago. Thought he turned into an off-ball threat. Yeah, one thing I like about Smart, too, is he's releasing his passes quicker. He's making, just quicker decisions overall, and I like it. He's not dilly-dallying on the ball as much as he used to. I should have mentioned that in the episode. I will, though. Remind me, too. Ryan says season 5. I think season 6. Just a guy on YouTube says, off-topic Dime, but you keeping up with the Johnny Depp and Amber Turd case. Johnny Depp, I'm assuming, but I'm not sure about it. No. Just a guy on YouTube says, do you think Luka needs to work on his conditioning? Maybe a little, yeah. But I haven't seen it to be too big of a problem thus far in this year's playoffs. ZZ Vision says, sometimes Bam doesn't understand how talented he is. It's heartbreaking, honestly. Facts. Ty Baller says, I was told by avid Heat fans that Bam's shot extending to the mid-range consistently was inevitable. Seems like he's still not confident in as much. Absolutely not. It's ridiculous. Not confident at all. Kyle's Take says, Heat finally lose in their house this playoffs. Facts. They were saying they're undefeated at home. Kyle's Take says, only Golden State Warriors undefeated at home, as well as Luka and the Mavs. That's right, Luka and the Mavs. See if the Warriors can get a dub there. Wait, that's not true. Oh, Luka and the Mavs, yes, because the Jazz won game 1 with no Luka. ZZ Vision says, at Ty Baller, he's a good mid-range shooter, just refuses to shoot the ball. Okay, so I don't get it. If you're a good mid-range shooter, why don't you have confidence? Come on. Like, seriously. He refuses to. That's ridiculous. That's pussy shit. Ty Baller says, exactly what I'm saying. Give me a consistent mid-range threat if you don't shoot it. Yeah, exactly. It's annoying. Yo, Yus says, what made the difference tonight, you think? For the Celtics? Just made their Al Horford and Marcus Smart. Yeah, that's the difference. Those 2 guys. You going to the LA County Fair? Wow, that's actually funny you ask. Somebody actually asked me to go. And the thing is, it's just Pomona's kind of far from me. I don't think I'll be able to. It's just far, especially if I'm going at night. It's like I'd have to make a day out of it. That's actually funny you asked that, though. Are you? Kyle's Take says, you think Bam's going to bounce back? I mean, in what way? Like, do I think he's going to score 20 points next game? Like, I'm not sure. On the road? I'm not feeling it. I'm 21. Okay, for sure, ZZ. I see you. Drink up then. What's your opinion on Duncan Robinson not being played? He's one-dimensional, and he doesn't play defense well enough, and Strus is stronger than him. And he still shoots threes, just not as well. That's the difference. He has a tight leash, Duncan Robinson. Again, that's why I don't like how we give all these players fat contracts that all they do is shoot threes. Specialists. Bro, I always take a defensive specialist first, because even if they're not hitting, they can contribute. Defense wins chips, my friends. He said, of course, I love that Warriors performance. Okay shooting and few turnovers. Brent said, I think the most exciting matchup in the East will be the Spoelstra-Udoka coaching matchup. Yeah, but Spoelstra's not going to be able to save the Heat from this talent. Kyle Stakes says, and I can never forget it, but Wiggs defended Luka better in game 1 than the defensive player of the year, second place Bridges did the entire second round. Facts. Kyle Stakes says, going to be quite scary with my dubs. Every single game Luka and the Mavs had at their house was a blowout. Yeah, trust your team, though. ZZ Vision says, Lowry has the Bam syndrome where he won't shoot open threes. My dream is Bradley Beal. Okay, this is ridiculous. We need to get freaking Lowry in the court. Going to be tough to win in the American Airlines Center, says Kyle's Takes. Big Ben says, yes, I'm from the area. Okay, from Pomona. I've been many times over the years going to the fair this weekend. Philly, man, enjoy it. I would say maybe I'll see you, but I doubt it. Yo says, I would have thought Victor would be Jimmy's number 2, to be honest. That's a lot to ask. This whole 22 playoffs has put a huge emphasis on rebounding. Kyle's Takes. Yes, man, no rebounds, no rings. Even though in today's NBA, I don't think rebounding is the same because it's so many long misses and just kind of playing catch sometimes. People want to get back in transition, but still, you can't give up offensive rebounds because in the playoffs, you have hungry players. Maybe I've been more observant in that area. Yeah, I think it's always been a thing. But this year, maybe more so than last. Feels that way because I feel like the game's been a little more physical. ZZ Vision says, Clippers going to be dangerous next year, Dime. Tell me something I don't know. If we can stay healthy, though, that's the biggest thing. Health. Oh, boy, oh, boy. You got anything else, boys? And girls, if you're watching? Ty Baller says, health is the biggest concern of the modern NBA. Yeah, one of the many. Cal takes us as a Clipper fan whose team is going to be a juggernaut. Who do you think is the toughest challenge? Oh, it's going to be a juggernaut. Who do you think is the toughest challenge? Whoever wins the chip this year and the Bucks. ZZ Vision says, been rewatching some somewhat older Heat games. Bron stands already out washed. Wade was in the big 3. Of course they fucking do. That's their agenda. Wasn't washed. Yo says, you say that about Duncan, but Tyler isn't as good on D either, but he gets played. There's a difference. Tyler can create his own shot, and especially in the pick and roll, he's good. Huge difference. Ty Baller says, nobody can seem to keep players in the court for 82 consistently. Yeah, man, again, we've talked about this. It starts with the youth levels. Getting burned out. AAU. We're going to talk about this a lot on my episode with Coach Steve. Is coming out this summer. He wrote a book on this, on youth sports, and that was one of the things, injuries. You guys should definitely tune into that. He's big on youth sports. He knows a lot. Very smart guy. Daniel Clifford says, hey, Dime, a bit is a different type of question, but what do you expect from Zoo next season? What do you want to see? I want him to get 30 minutes a game. I want him to average a double-double. I want him to be looked at as more of a go-to post-up threat when shit's not falling for us, because Kawhi, even when he comes, sometimes he has trouble getting by guys. And it's a lot of mid-range shots, and he's so good at it. Post-up, I love it. But it's sometimes we're a jump shooting team, and I think we need Zoo for some easy baskets in the post, because he can do it. He has a great right-hand jump hook. He just can't turn off his right shoulder. June 28th, July says, Warriors Celtics finals. Thoughts? I say hold your horses, but I think it's going to be the finals. I think the Celtics going to win. Brent says, Dime, do you believe in the Kardashian curse? No. Kyle's takes his Duncan with that podcast curse. Thankfully, Draymond ate that. How's it a curse if only Duncan Robinson's playing ass? ZZ Vision says, do the Clippers have a draft pick this year? I don't think so. Nor do we need one. Anything else, gentlemen? Kyle's takes says Derek White going to killing it game 3. Just became a dad. Oh, like Red Van Vliet in the 2019 Eastern Conference Finals? Ty Baller says Luka dropping 35 next game. I'm calling it. Sure. Brent says, do you see any franchise players in the draft? No. I heard this draft's not that great, and I haven't watched him enough in college to make that assessment. Oh, I like Paolo Banchero a lot. I think he can be a franchise player. I think he's really good, and he's really big. He's really good. He really impressed me in the tournament. What happened to Celtics fan? He just cashed. I don't know. He just disappeared. Daniel Clifford says Clippers have pick number 43. Okay, so we don't have a pick. Come on, man. I know you're being just doing your job there, Daniel. All right. Let's see what you got. By the way, shout out to Bob Cousy for clapping back at JJ Baby Dick. That was amazing. Chet Holmgren said he'd be the best player in the NBA in a few months. Said Brent, yeah, well, do we know the context of that quote? Kyle's takes. Ty Baller says Kyle's takes. I can already see people calling him Daddy Derek, just like they called Van Vliet Father Fred. ZZ Vision says I like Benedict Mathurin out of Arizona. Kyle's takes says Orlando gonna draft a center again. Anything else? Where did you get the nickname JJ Baby? Somebody, I don't remember if it was me. I don't think it was me. I think one of my friends said it. Because he was playing ass in the 2017 playoffs against the Jazz. And I was over this man because he was getting outplayed by Joe Ingles. He could not guard. And he's one play that he's coming off that curl screen off the baseline. And Chris Paul used to feed it to him, and his shot pocket was getting snuffed out. And we didn't have Blake. We didn't have proper spacing. And Chris he had a tough game 7. But I was saying that game 1. I think it was my friend Aaron. Showtime Nick says, I need to see what Bob Cousy said. Go to my Twitter, bro. Kyle's takes says, ha, ha, ha. To what? Yo says, do you think Mavs can make it a close race with Warriors, or do you think the Suns would have been better if they advanced? I think the Suns would have definitely been better if they advanced, but I think that the Mavs can still make it a good series. I think people are overreacting a lot after game 1. I think you don't sleep. Kyle's takes his best Lob City series, obviously against the Spurs. What? Where we won, and I was at every single home game, and Chris Paul made the game winner. One of the only game 7 game winners in the history of basketball. There's been like 6 of them, 5 of them all time. ZZ Vision says, even if we lose, I have respect for Boston. Kind of feels like they're due for a finals appearance. Yeah. We can do without that, though, because their fans are so loud. Oh, my God. Not even Celtics fans, Boston fans. But keep them coming. Let's do notes. Showtime Nick retweeting. I appreciate you, boss. Any last words, gent? Not the Teddy series dime. That one was great, but I'm not taking that over the Spurs, man. That was the first time. The Spurs was epic. That was like a second round series. ZZ Vision says that's facts. Brent said, I don't think we're overreacting. I think Luka's overrated, and it's going to show this series. That's nuts, bro. Luka's overrated? I don't even, come on. I'm not even a stan like that. I'm not even a Luka fan, but I don't think he's overrated at all. Oh, fuck. My bad, guys. I don't think he's overrated at all. Kyle's takes us, if it was Dubs Clips in 2015 Western Conference Finals, were the Clips the favorites? Hell no. You guys won 67 games that year. I think it would have been Warriors in 6 or 7 games. I think 7 games, honestly. I think we would have pushed y'all. I think that was our best chance to win a championship. I just still don't think Chris Paul's that dude, and it shows because we lost. So that's if Schmidt bullshit. We didn't win. We lost the freaking Rockets. ZZ Vision says, I don't like Luka's play style. All I see is James Harden. Yeah, but he's so much more crafty in the mid-range. He actually utilizes it. He can bully ball post up, back to basket, not just like charging in. And I think he's a lot more patient. And I think as much as James Harden likes to dance with the ball, I think Luka's a little bit better with that. I also think Luka's basketball IQ is just higher to me. Yo says Luka isn't overrated, Mr. Skip Bayless. Why are you calling him Skip Bayless? Brent says they're comparing Luka to Larry Bird, so he's overrated to me. I actually haven't heard those comparisons as much this year. I think you should start comparing him to guys like Harden or LeBron. Honestly, LeBron, his career trajectory is similar to LeBron so far. His 4th season doing spectacular things with a team with 1 All-Star, or no All-Stars, I mean. Larry Bird came into the league a lot older than Luka. And he's not like Larry. I just think he has some aspects like the pump fakes and like the fact that he beats you with with his craft and his skill and using guys' athleticism against them and playing not very fast. But Harry Bird is a better athlete than Luka, and he's just so much more off the ball, and he's very quicker in his decisions. Luka Doncic is a very, like, tries to control the game like LeBron, kind of like a Euro version without the athleticism. June 28th, July says, you play video games, Dime? Which ones? I mean, I used to be big into sports games because I'm a fiend for competition, bro. Like, I love competing. Like, I loved I'm sorry, I'm more of a third-person shooters guy than a first-person shooters. Like, I like GTA, Red Dead Redemption. I used to love Mafia. Even LA Noire, that was a cop game, like Rockstar games, those type of things. More than first-person shooters like COD and stuff like that. I don't know why. But sports games always brought me back, especially FIFA. I was really good at FIFA. I still could give all you guys the work, by the way. 2K as well. I'm pretty solid. But I was addicted to the competition. I'm addicted to competition, like in ways, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm on some Michael Jordan sickery shit, but like I'm addicted. Like I just miss it. I miss competing in various ways. That's why I loved coaching. Like, I guess I'm competing in the podcast realm. Whatever. I mean, I'm always my drive is always high, but there's nothing like competing, bro. Ugh. Maybe it's the freaking like alpha male type bullshit tendencies where you always need to big dick someone. I don't know. I just have always been like uber competitive to a fault sometimes, but it's what keeps me, I guess, right? Where am I? Kyle Steak says, I mean, everyone was going crazy when the Grizz got up 2-1 on us in the second round. In 2015, including me. That series changed the NBA forever to me. Again, one day I'll go more in depth about that. Kyle Steak says, thankfully the guys won game 4 in Memphis and never looked back. Yeah. Yo says, Luka's only 23 and he's only getting better. That's facts. Ty Baller says, Luka is legit. The Warriors just had a great system in place to stifle him for game 1. His skill on offense is generational. Yes, sir. ZZ Vision says, good point. It blows my mind watching the Mavs offense. They legit run a 2K offense and it works because Luka's special. It only works for certain levels, though. It's not going to win a championship. If he does, come back and call me an idiot, but I don't think it's going to. And Luka would be very special if that happens. Yo says, Skip calls Luka overrated. He's sleeping. Kyle's Take says, not going to lie, this Dubs Mavs Western Conference Finals reminds me of Bucks Hawks last year, like a seasoned team versus surprise underdog. I feel you on that. Showtime Nick says, I used to be really good at NBA Live, for sure. I was pretty good too. CZ Vision says, sex bots. Yeah, the bots. Naked HD XYZ. Do you think you will get back into coaching? Kids? Oh, man, I'm so down. Just COVID has been fucking up all these youth leagues, but I'm so down, man. I'm trying to make a difference in kids' lives. Like, I still keep in touch. I saw some of my players last week, actually. I saw one of my players when I was getting food. They're all grown, man. This fool's like 3 inches taller than me now. He's a little ass kid when I coached him, but that shit is crazy. I mean, I just love like giving kids memories. You know what I mean? Like youth sports. We talked about it with Coach Steve. That's a really good episode. I can't wait till you guys see it in the summer about this. One of my mentors, and just like the youth sports window for your kids is a small window. Take advantage of it. Stop putting so much pressure on them, and just make sure you have fun more than anything. And that's one thing I want to do with all these kids, and make sure they learn a couple of things on the road, but make sure they have a season where in 10 years, 20 years, they'll remember and be like, man, when he was my coach, I had a great time. And one of the things you got to do, like just if you guys ever do youth coaching or coach your little brothers or anything like that, guys, if you coach kids, by the way, I love that I don't have any brothers and stuff like that. So when I coach, I don't have a kid. You know, I hated playing with daddy's son. Oh my God, getting preferential treatment. That's why I can't blame Cliff Paul for getting mad at Austin Rivers and Glenn Rivers' whole dynamic in LA with us. But I don't show favoritism. So everybody's one of my guys. Everybody's one of my guys. I ride for my guys. And you know me, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's sports. It doesn't matter if it was when I was in my frat back in college. It doesn't matter if it's my boys. You're my boy or I haven't been in relationships like that, but like I ride with you till the death. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I will do anything for you. I do not waver. Like flip-flopping and all that bullshit is not in my vocabulary. Like I'm all in for the squad, us versus the world if it's a competitive setting. But I ride with my team, I ride with my guys, and you know, I just love embracing that community and team aspect. Like I don't know. I'm never into individual sports. That's why I'm dime dropper, because I like passing the ball. I just think like there's nothing like making someone else happy. Like nothing. That's my greatest joy in life. More than making myself happy, it's making other people happy. Uh I always say, Jokic said it best actually. He said when I get an assist, two people are happy as opposed to one. And that's how I always felt. Sometimes to a fault. Sometimes I used to get yelled at to shoot the ball. That was my biggest criticism in basketball. Sometimes I didn't embrace scoring enough. But yeah, man, doing stuff for other people is the best joy. And I love the joy on kids' faces. Like, this is the thing, guys. Like, when you coach youth sports, not everybody's gonna be good. So one thing that kids get really caught up on, and I was really caught up on as a kid, was people used to always ask me how many points I scored in a game, in like a youth game or intramural or whatever school game. And I was a point guard, so that was never really my role to score a ton of points. We would win games, and I would be a big part of it. And everybody asked me how many points I scored, not if I played well. And that just made me like, it kind of went against everything I grew up learning, is that like you can affect is the goal to win or to put up points? And this is the point of my podcast that I try to emphasize. Like, fuck points, like scoring, the box score, the stats. Like, what about the defensive side of the ball? What about the little things? What about communicating with your teammates? What about knowing when to chill and knowing when to take over games, knowing situation? That's all that matters. Like, and I think I did that in my respective settings that I played in over my life. But everybody used to say that type of shit. So there's going to be guys even worse, like not hoopers, guys that their parents made them sign up, and you got to find sub goals for them. You know what I'm saying? If they're not going to score, if they're going to score 2 points all season, you got to try to, push them to get rebounds, play good defense. Oh, what about one time if they put a nice hand up and contest a shooter? You make that contest feel like a game fucking winner. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get these kids going. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to, as long as teach them. That's what I emphasize. Teach them that you can have a good game without scoring. Just do what you do and do it to the best of your ability and try hard. That's it. Not everyone's going to go trying to be a D1 hooper, high school hooper. So that's my advice to all you guys. You watch any TV shows or any kind of series like an anime? Haha, curious. The only anime I ever watched when I was a kid was Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to love that shit. I had a collection of the whole like anime, and like the cards and all that, but not too many others. I've heard a lot of good things about shows like Naruto and does Avatar count as anime? The Last Airbender? Ty Baller says, yo, yeah, definitely agree with Luka not being overrated. Yo, yeah says Draymond said he's the best defender over Ben Wallace and others, please. Ben Wallace is a conversation, not Bill Russell, though. Bill Russell is the greatest defender of all time, without a question from me. Would you be a better player or coach? What the fuck does that mean? At what level, my G? I'm always going to take myself as a player because I can control the outcome. Coach, you got to just try your best. That's the thing about coach. You got to just try your best. It's a player sport. You realize that. For example, I'll tell you this truth. I coached 3 rec teams in the course of one school year. And each year or each season, as the seasons went on, I got to learn the league and I knew who was good and who wasn't. So you know what the only difference was? Each year, each season, my team's record got better. The first season I was 2-8 because I didn't know the league. The second season I was 3-7. And then the third season, I'm sorry, I think it was 4-6. I'd have to check that out. I'd have to look back at my logs. And then my final season, I was 8-2. So you know what changed? My coaching, yeah, I got a little bit better as a coach. But you know what really changed? My team, the players. It's a player sport. You know what I'm saying? Coach can only do so much in this game of basketball. It's not like soccer. We got to set up the formation and the tactics. It's not like football. You play call. It's not like baseball. You have all these pitching changes. It's different. This man, hey, this man just hit me up and said he fell asleep. So there's the answer. Coaches get really over-criticized, says ZZ Visions. Kyle's takes says, no matter you're so particular in coaching, especially Glenn, you yourself coach. First time I've heard of it. I missed that shit, man. Showtime Nick says, not going to lie, when I was in high school, the varsity football coach's son was the quarterback. He definitely got coach's son treatment. That shit happens. Showtime Nick says, if any of you in the chat get into coaching, I got some great advice from Dime about it. One time a kid told me when I told him he needs to use his left hand, he told me he's not left-handed. What? One time a kid told me when I told him he needs to use his left hand, he told me he's not left-handed. What advice did I give you? I was told to respond to that by saying the best players can use both hands. Is that what I said? Ty Baller says, true, Nick. Kyle Stakes says, does the players you coach know you got a podcast? Hell yeah, bro. They follow me on Instagram. Of course, you know they support. Brent says, that's why Stockton is a top 5 point guard of all time. He played both sides and controlled the entire game. Debatable. John Stockton, by the way, is in the mud for stepping up for those protesters that stormed into the Capitol building? Was it the White House? Nation's capital, the White House. Man, my memory is not serving me well there. Ty Baller says, also, I hate the way they prioritize scoring rather than playing a role that can propel the team into success. That's why so many people grow up wanting to be the main ball handler and not have good playmaking skills. They want to shoot first pass later. Exactly. It's just an emphasis on scoring and obviously a lot of things on the ball now. And everybody wants to be. It's a me era. Me. Showtime Nick says, I feel that about having a good game without scoring. Just ask Dennis Rodman or Ben Wallace. Exactly. I had this kid named Luke. He was my boy. I still have Instagram with him and everything. And I used to call him an enforcer. I'm saying, you're going to be the guy that sets hard screens. You're going to be the guy that everybody hates playing against. He didn't have the most skill, but he really improved his skill over the course of the season, offensive rebound, and be a big body. And he was like a Draymond for our team. And man, I remember the first game, a kid came into the lane and he got checked hard and they didn't call it. And he's like, he's fouling me. And I looked at him and I'm like, that's what I'm fucking talking about, baby. They already don't like you. And that's just like, oh God, now I'm missing coaching, guys. I'm gonna get emotional on this mic. Like, I miss my guys. I miss just making a difference in kids and experiences. Like, I like working with kids, man. I'm a big kid at the end of the day. Like, I still do some immature ass shit, but like, I don't know. To me, I'm always gonna be a kid inside. I can't lose that innocence. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though I've done some interesting things in life. Let's put it that way. ZZ Vision says, if Tyler's on our roster long-term, he's got to get better at some playmaking things. He was rattled whenever the Celtics blitzed him. Facts. It's also because the length of the Celtics, man. The guys blitzing are like proper guys. Showtime Nick says, I was a defense first guy. I wasn't much of a scorer myself growing up. Okay, for sure. Good to know. June 28th, July says, Avatar Last Airbender is highly recommended. Not too long. Also, Naruto is too long. Showtime Nick says, Dennis Rodman had multiple games with 0 points and 20 rebounds. I think his rings speak for themselves of how he impacted winning. Facts. Hey, June 28th, July, I really appreciate you, bro. Thanks for streaming. $10. Hey, I really appreciate you. Remember, super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 a dime. As I said, guys, I promise, like, I know I keep saying this because just still this season, but I will repay you guys one day. I have a good memory, as you can tell from like listening to me talk about ball. I won't forget which one of you guys have been here from the grassroots fucking start of my shit. So appreciate y'all always. Showtime Nick says, yes, you told me that. I told you that? The best players use both hands? Wow, I don't even remember my own advice now. Hey, man, well, thanks for remembering. ZZ Vision says, when I played Pee Wee football, defensive coach was dad of starting safety. Dude made his son do up downs in the middle of the game. Wow. It was a capital. Okay, thanks, bro. Wow. Kyle Stakes says, how to not have a good game without scoring. Do you watch any sports analysis shows? No, not really. I kind of trust my own analysis. Oh, I love watching Inside the NBA after, though. Wow. Nick Massey. Holy shit, dude. I was actually just talking about the park just now. Hey, yo, everybody say a shout out to my boy Nick right here. He actually played against me at the park. He was a couple years younger than me, and we used to play at the local park. And Nick was a hooper, man. He could shoot the shit out of the ball. We were on the same team. And you know what? Regrettably looking back, I feel like I could have given Nick more shots some games. I was just kind of so into playmaking myself. And that's maturing on my part, realizing that sometimes I could have moved the ball a little bit more. But again, my dad used to film the games. So I used to fucking come home and like look at my stats. Like, I was a LeBron fan, man. What can I say? Like, I was into them stats. But we win a lot of games. And I really appreciate you, bro, Nick, for long time no see. If you remember the name, get the fuck out of here, bro. Stop insulting yourself. Still repping up the Celtics. Yeah, you were a Celtics fan, weren't you? What college did you go to, bro? I went to UMass Amherst, so I was always around Celtics fans. All my friends are Celtics fans. But watching all your videos, Chip coming soon. Hey, man, I fucking appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Kyle's take says, we got to win the games that Jordan Poole plays well. I've observed that he kind of slows down the longer the series goes. Feel you on that. Your guys in green got the job done. Bro, relax. I'm not a Celtics fan just because I'm high on their team this year. Celtics have won too many rings. I feel the same way about the Lakers I feel about the Celtics. I love their history. I love their players, but I don't want them to win anymore. They've won enough. And their fans are so annoying when they win. Ty Baller says, I remember being a traditional big ma. You mean big man? Park League legends for life. You already know. Nick Massey, I think, made a championship shot one time to win the championship. I think I may have that shit on video, low key. Still, after my team was sadly knocked out because our coach and like 2 players didn't show up. That was the season where I really learned what would really feel like to make guys better. I had a bad team, and in the beginning, I tried to press and force everything because I thought I had to do everything myself. Then I realized how to trust guys and made them better by sacrificing stats. My stats were dog shit. I calculated them myself, but I learned a lot about sacrifice that season. And that's the funny part. You can learn this shit playing at the fucking park. Like, just play team in team settings, man. You learn a lot by playing. You know, a lot of these people want to talk. They don't play. And a lot of people are selfish as fuck. You know what I'm saying? They don't have people. That's the thing about life experience, too. When I was 17, I didn't think this way. When I was 19, I didn't think this way. And I'm not even old like that. But I feel like in basketball years, because I've been so into the game for so long, I feel like I'm fucking 60. Like, for real. Phoenix Plays E says the worst thing for the NBA is a Warriors versus Celtics finals. 2 of the worst fan bases going at it is going to be hell. Dude. He says Miami Dallas best scenario. Oh, man. That again? ZZ Vision says, worst fan base. Celtics have a case. I've learned that the last few days. Celtics are not that bad, believe it or not. Just the Boston fans in general are just so annoying. Ty Baller says Warriors versus Celtics fans would be horrific. Yeah, I know. It's pretty bad either way. Edward says Golden State fans getting on my nerves again, and Clippers not even playing them. It's annoying they would not beat us. I hope they don't. I hope we kick their ass next year. By the way, the live is getting more crowded right now at 10:35. I fuck with it. Ty Baller says, I can see the endless wishing of injuries and death threats already from both of those fan bases. Okay. Phoenix Plays E says, I dislike every team left in the playoffs besides Dallas. Domo Genesis. Okay, so you're not Domo, the Clipper fan. Says, I'm a Lakers fan. We got the worst fan base. That's damn right. I mean, it depends. What do you define as worst fan base? Toxicity? Kyle's Take says, I'd really love to imagine us going to the finals, but I got to enjoy the run as it goes. This Dubs team with Steph, Clay, and Dre ain't lasted forever. Yeah, exactly. That's the way to look at it. Edward says, Mavs need to watch the Clippers 2019 playoffs. Use that game plan. What are you talking about? Versus who? The Warriors? It's a very different team, my friend. Yo Ya says, I know it's old now, but did you think after their Game 6 loss, the Suns were out of it with the Mavs? Fuck no. You can check what I was saying. Domo Genesis, Laker fans, hella toxic and delusional. That's true. ZZ Vision says, Raptors fans have a strange obsession for wishing for injuries. It's the weirdest thing I've seen. Okay. Where are you getting that? Twitter? I wouldn't take Twitter too seriously, bro. There's a lot of good people outside of Twitter. Twitter just, it can really highlight the ugly fans of society, both verbally and aesthetically. No, I'm just kidding. That's mean calling people ugly. But hey, man, for the fans that act ugly with their tweets, they can be ugly too. Yo Ya says I'm a Laker fan. Man, my fan base is all Laker fans. And Clipper fans, of course. Shout out to my Clipper fans, even though none of them are in the chat tonight except for Edward. Kyle's Take says Laker fans send death threats. That's pretty bad already. Yeah. Let's not stereotype with a couple of bad seeds. Domo Genesis says, me too, yo, yeah. I'm a Raps fan. I don't wish injury. What's up, Scotty Barnes season? ZZ Vision says, not all Raptors fans, though. Yo, if there's 19 of you in here, right? Let's see. Everybody should drop a comment. Remember, like the shit out of this video, okay? I can't see how many likes there are on my streaming app, but like the shit out of this video, please. And make sure to comment on the algorithms when my video ends. Make sure to comment for the algorithms. Domo Genesis says, got to be a realistic fan. Edward says, Golden State were way better in 2019. Coming off a championship, Clippers took them to 7 games with no all-star. Lemon Pepper was our best player. Yes, we're playing against a different team. It's like, what, 8 or 9 of you sending comments? Come on, if you're being quiet right now, come on, come out wherever you are. I want to hear you. Edward says 6 games. I understand. Nick says, do you think Lowry makes the Heat much better if he comes back? Honestly, from what I've seen, Gabe Vincent seems better in one of the brightest spots in the Heat right now. You know, that's not a bad point, Nick. You could be right. You could be right that it may not be that much better, but I still think it's like they're going to need something. And Lowry is still, if you get a good Kyle Lowry, I feel like we haven't seen a good Kyle Lowry, and that's why we're saying that. If we get the Kyle Lowry that plays like an all-star, I feel like we'll see a difference. And then Gabe Vincent can come off the bench and get hot, but it really all depends on what Lowry we get. If we get the good Lowry, I think it's a definite improvement. Phoenix Plays Z says, I just think Lowry is a good player still. Phoenix Plays Z says, the KD thing was fucked up, but the Embiid shit being blown out of proportion. How's the fan base supposed to know he broke his eye bone? I feel you on that. They don't have x-ray vision. Ty Baller says, healthy Lowry could really give the Heat that push against the Celtics. Yeah, I feel you. You say that? Okay. So, they're saying a healthy Kyle Lowry elevates Miami a lot. Depends because Lowry has the defense right. ZZ Vision says, I'm a Heat fan, Nick, and from what I've seen, Lowry doesn't drastically change things. That's why I've been looking towards moves in the offseason. Okay, very telling. Domo Genesis says, Lowry got a chip and a lot of playoff experience. Just depends on how he comes back. Yeah, exactly. Can't go wrong with experience when he's still pretty good. Kyle's Take says, Lowry versus Smart will be a pit bull fight. Ty Baller says, Lowry this playoffs has just been hesitant since the injury. If he isn't too in his head about the injury, it could really change things. Facts. Real new. Edward says, Bam is so disappointing, man. He's so night and day. I feel you. We're at the 1 hour mark, ladies and gents. You guys keep going, though. I love this. Nick says, I was huge on Lowry for a long time. I just feel like I'm far removed from those days now. I feel, man. Where you at? What college you go to? Or are you in college? Edward says, Smarter Tony Allen. Who are you taking? On defense or as a player? ZZ Vision says, Lowry versus Smart will be flop city. I disagree. Carried y'all in the regular season when Jimmy and Bam got injured. He's a reason to the 1 seed. Here we go, the Toronto bias. Here we go with that Lowry agenda. Now I'm just fucking with you, kind of. Yo, yes, says you deserve more recognition since you have a lot of knowledge of basketball and your opinions and facts are on point. Fuck Clippers, by the way. Well, the Clippers, I don't know what your problem is with us. I appreciate your comment. Damn right, this ain't a game to me. But we're going to keep building, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. We're going to go out and get it. Grab it by the throat. Nick says 100%. I hope that's in response to me. Phoenix plays. He says, unfortunately, he had the hamstring injury. Kyle Stakes says, man, I still remember the glorified summer league where Bam was killing the C's. Facts. Phoenix plays. He says, I think the Lowry slander's out of pocket considering. Dude, are you Lowry's defense attorney? My goodness, you Raptors fans. Domo Genesis says Bam's offense is questionable, but he's definitely in the elite defender talks. He's got to get some type of bag on offense. Yeah, I agree with that. ZZ Vision says we need scoring at Phoenix plays. He doesn't score like that. Facts. Nick says I go to Boulder, almost into Emerson. Hey, man, I think you made the right choice over Emerson, man. How you like it over there? The Buffs. Phoenix plays. He says his passing in the half court and pull-up threes elevate Miami a lot. Yeah, you love this fool Lowry. Oh, my God, Edward. I'm scared Morris is going to stay. This guy, man. Marcus, every single time he plays, Marcus Morris. He doesn't get any rebounds. Fucking Edward, man. He's funny. Ty Baller, Lowry slander has been going too wild. People saying they should have kept Precious instead. Oh, God. ZZ Vision says, yeah, if he takes the pull-up threes when he has played in the playoffs, right, pass him up for some reason. Well, you guys keep bringing up the comments. Phoenix plays. He says, hey, bro, I believe Lowry's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's a Raptors legend. I'm going to defend my man. I feel you, bro. I just think, like, KJ's not in the Hall of Fame. Marcus Johnson. Like, come on. If Marcus Johnson's not in the Hall of Fame and Lowry's going to be, Gus Williams is not in the Hall of Fame and Lowry's going to be, I'm not fucking with that, personally. ZZ Vision says, whoever the fuck says we should have kept Precious is on crack. Edward says, I feel so bad Magic really going to draft Sean Bradley 2.0. Who the hell is that? Oh, Chet Holmgren, Orlando? Yo, yes, there's no hate on you anything. Just salty Chris didn't get traded to the Lakers. Oh, my God. We're still on that? It's 2000. It's been 10 years. Oh, my goodness. Domo Genesis says Precious is good. Don't hate the player, hate the game, homie. Domo Genesis says Precious is good. Miami needed a point guard like Lowry. Nick Matt says, trust me, I'm far from saying that. I just don't see Lowry much better than as Gabe had, even though he's obviously an upgrade on defense. I believe a lot of people should be in right. Let me see. I believe a lot of people should be in right now. Chauncey's a good example. Okay, fair. Yeah, Chauncey definitely should be in. If Kyle Lowry, oh my God, Chauncey Billups is going to be in. If Kyle Lowry over Chauncey Billups, dude, how many? Let's be real with Kyle Lowry. I fuck with him, but like, how many All-Star appearances would he have had if he was in the West during that time? Mike Conley, he was much better than Mike Conley before Kawhi came around, because as a second option, he was looking a little funny under the sun. Most of those playoffs. Same with DeRozan. I think Lowry ended up being better than DeRozan in terms of like in the playoffs, but compared to the pressure a lot of other point guards had. Cameron Hasseli says, is the enemy of your enemy friend? If so, then I got to root for the Celtics, even though I don't really like them. Domo Genesis says, bro, it's been 10 years. Ty Baller says, do you all think Paul George will retire Hall of Famer? Oh, he better. I hope he is. If T-Mac made it, he should definitely make it. And if Carmelo's going to make it, which he will, he should definitely make it. Cameron Hasseli says, also, what's good, Dime? I haven't been live in a minute. Really? I feel like you're always here. But it's good to have you back. ZZ Vision says, do you guys think Jimmy Butler versus Paul George is more of a debate now than it was last season? Absolutely. Absolutely. Edward says Chet is going to be a bust with that body. He'll never survive. Look at what happened to Frank Kaminsky. Chet, just height. We said the same thing about Kevin Durant, though, didn't we? I'm not huge on him right now, but he can bulk up. Phoenix Plays E says, I believe the Lowry playoff thing is garbage. He was great. It was when DeRozan got benched. We actually made a run a lot of those Cavs series. Those Cavs series that you still lost. You're not going to win those. You weren't going to win those series, man. Real Edward says PG definitely going to be Hall of Famer. Yo says, what's your opinion about Zion? The Pelicans are legit, but just imagine him being at his prime. He needs to get on the fucking court. He needs to take better care of himself. He needs to play better defense when he plays. I can't even critique him. He needs to get on the court. He needs to take this shit more seriously, bro. I'm very disappointed. This guy was the most hyped up player since LeBron. Dead ass. Hyped up player since LeBron, and he has missed 2 full seasons damn near out of 3. It's disgrace. It's ridiculous. I mean, is he the next Greg Oden? Like, what's going on here? I mean, he had a great second season, but I'm not a fan, really. Phoenix Plays E says, I don't know why Lowry caught shade averaging 22 on 60% true shooting against the Cavs in 2018. You got swept. You got swept, bro. Nick Massey says, Billups is a finals MVP. Yeah, he's a monster. Domo Genesis says, that Cavs series that they got swept. Yeah, thank you, Domo, for taking the words out of my mouth. Oh, my God. Edward, Lowry should have came to the Clippers. He fucked up. Okay. When did I claim we were going to win those series? I'm just saying Larry did his job and DeMar folded every single fucking time. Well, I have to watch those series back, but I'm not talking about series that you were like the series that you were expected to lose, like the Cavs series 2 years in a row. I'm not even saying that. I'm talking more like 2014 and 15. 15 was a disgrace. That was terrible. 16 before like game, I want to say 3 against Miami. I know he made that half-court shot in game 1, but he was struggling. And then the last 2 years he was better. And then obviously 2019, remember he had a donut. He didn't play well those first 2 rounds against Orlando and Philly to me that much. And then he started playing better as he went on. He was better as a third option. They called it LeBronto for a reason, says Domo Genesis. ZZ Vision says, all right, I got to head out. Dime. Great chatting with you. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you. Wow, the live's getting more packed as the time has gone on. It's crazy. Ty Baller says Lowry was one of the only bright spots in those Cavs series. DeRozan really just folded the second he knew he was facing LeBron, even admitted so years later in a podcast. Sad sight to see. Wow, so Lowry, 2 people are saying that he was better in those Cavs series. I guess I got to look back and watch them because I'm not really talking about 2018. I remember Lowry being good against Wizards. I remember him being good against they played him in the second round. I'd have to watch those games back. 2017, they got swept too. They beat the Bucks. I remember Lowry being pretty decent against the Bucks. And then you guys played against the who was the 2 seed that year? 2017. Oh, you played the Cavs, didn't you? Yeah, lost second round. So yeah. Yo says, Deadass, I agree. Only reason I ask is because he was so damn hyped. Cameron says, let's take Kyrie. Phoenix Plays. He says 2015 was a disgrace. I'll give you that. 2014 wasn't. 2014 was his first one in a big role, so I get Washington Wizards series was awful. Kyle Stick says, what if DeRozan went to the Clippers? No. Phoenix Plays. He says Lowry had like 35 in Game 7 against who? Against Miami. Yeah, he was. That series was kind of the turning point for me, I guess, of his playoff career. I'd say. Yeah, if he really didn't have a bad series after that, I'll check back and watch. He didn't have a good series against the Sixers, though. I was scared that he may not perform well enough to win the championship, but he did. Cameron says it's been a week since I've been on, but it feels way longer. I feel you. Cal Steak says, I think he was okay versus the Cavs in the 2016 Eastern Conference Finals. I didn't expect him to win that. I thought it was decent that the Raptors took him to 6. I remember Corey Joseph playing really well in that series. And DeMari Carroll. And Bismack. Nick Massey says, what kind of contract do you think Brunson ends up with this offseason? I think he gets paid $20 million a year for like 3 years. Or like $18 million a year for like 5. Edward says, fucking Chelsea, man, lost me money. Yeah, I'm not. Those bozos disappointed me so much this season. Phoenix Plays. He says, Lowry wasn't good scoring-wise against Philly, but then again, who really was outside of Kawhi and Jimmy? I feel you. Ty Baller says, I'm just saying, we're comparing him to other guys in history. Ty Baller says, I remember Lowry hitting that full court heave just for us to lose the game versus Miami in 2016. Damn, you got 2 Raptors fans in here? Kyle's Take says, even Fred VanVleet had horrible first 2 rounds in 2019. That's true. His playmaking brings a lot of value and little things. Yeah, I agree with that. But I think a lot of the best point guards of all time, I mean, not all time, but like a lot of great point guards like this that we're talking about have done that. Domo Genesis says Brunson about to get a bag. Kyle's Take says he picked up in Game 3 versus Milwaukee. Yeah, Freddie V when he had his kid. All right, guys, 1 hour, 9 minutes. That's pretty good. No, not a max, bro. No. That'd be foolish. Edward says, what's your Clippers offseason thoughts? I agree with trading Senior for a backup point guard or a point guard better than Reggie. That's smart, but I don't know if there's anyone on the market like that. Keep Isaiah Hartenstein. Big priorities. We already got Rocco back. We got to keep Isaiah. Ty Baller says, W stream. I appreciate you, bro. Edwards, I'm sorry. Phoenix Plays. He says, who do you think would win a series? 2020 Lakers or 2015 Warriors? We'll go with the Lakers. Cameron Aselli says, Philly wants Senior. Well, who could we get? Who could we get? We're not getting Maxey. And I don't want the plumber. W stream, appreciate you, Kyle's takes. Domo Genesis between 50 to 20 million for Brunson sounds right. W stream, appreciate you, Domo Genesis. That's a good way to end it off. Appreciate you. Have a good night, everybody. Hey, make sure to comment on the video when I end it. Algorithms. I'll take Maxey. Yeah, wishful thinking, buddy. Appreciate you guys. Like, sub, and make sure to comment. Have a good night, everybody. Peace out.